As long as I've been backpacking, there's been some advice that makes absolutely no sense to me. It goes something like this. Get all of your gear first, then buy your backpack. You can't go backpacking without a backpack, but you can go backpacking without a lot of things so long as you do have a backpack. If you're starting backpacking, the first thing you've got to do is get 3 or 4 pieces of gear. Your backpack, your tent, your sleeping bag, and your ground pad. With those 4 things, you can go out and sleep outside. You can go out for a quick overnight. You can go out for 2 nights. There's some other gear that you want in there, like a raincoat, maybe a warm jacket, and things like that. For most people, a backpack between 50 and 60 liters is good enough or will suit most people's needs. For sure, on an overnight, that's a little bit overkill in terms of volume, but if you pick the right pack, you can typically roll those down and get rid of that excess volume. Probably one of the most popular backpacks on the market is the REI Flash 55 liters. Some of the more popular bags from Hyperlite Mountain Gear. The Southwest, either a 45 or 55 liter bag. Just go with the 55 liter bag. That's gonna cover almost any situation. So what's the advantage of buying your bag first? It's a reality check. When you get a bag and you look at it and you go, ooh, I've gotta live out of this thing and I've gotta fit everything in this thing. Now the reality is that there's so much good, modern, lightweight, compact gear out there. You don't have to spend a fortune, although you can, and even if you're not spending a fortune, you can get some very good, lightweight, functional gear. I'll just show you guys 2 extremes. This is an MSR Elixir one. It's by no means an ultralight tent, but look at the size. You know, it's about 16 inches long. It weighs 4 pounds. This is a great little tent. I like it a lot for things like car camping. But can you go backpacking with this? Of course you can. So this is almost an extreme at 4 pounds. But I'm gonna show you another extreme. This is the Zpacks Altiplex, which is a pretty spacious 1-person tent. Definitely the Altiplex is a little bit smaller, but is this really gonna make a huge difference between which pack you buy? Probably not. Same volume pack could handle either one. That 50 to 60 liter pack will swallow this one up. It'll swallow this one up. Look at something like an Xmid. Pretty compact little tent. This is the 2-person just to fly, but the 1-person Xmid is about the same size packed with the inner. So it's a small little package. It doesn't really matter which bag you have, it'll fit this guy. Now, is Pack X the perfect bag for you? Who knows? But it's gonna get things started. It's gonna get you outside. You don't wanna have paralysis by analysis, wondering which is gonna be the perfect bag, which is gonna be the perfect tent. They're all pretty good, except for dirt cheap junk. So that's one thing to stay away from. You buy cheap, you're gonna have to buy again. What about pack weight? Pack weight is a huge part of your overall base weight. And depending on your objective and depending what you're doing outside, that overall base weight has a huge impact. I started out backpacking in the late 90s, had probably a 35 or 40 pound base weight like everyone at the time. A big 7-pound tent, a big 6-pound sleeping bag, a 7-pound backpack. And it just made adventuring less fun. What typically happens as a pack gets heavier? Some of them do have more load capacity. Most of them just have more bells and whistles, thick material, extra straps, doubling of material, more zippers, more pockets, a top brain, all of these things which in my mind take away from efficiency on the trail. So when it comes to trying to balance that carrying capacity, weight, and volume, there are several backpacks out there that meet the 50 to 60 liter carrying volume and that are quite lightweight. In my mind, the benchmark right now is a 2-pound pack that will give you plenty of structure, allow you to carry loads of over 25 pounds. Some of them have reported capacities of 40 pounds and still be light enough to maintain a very manageable base weight. You need to get a backpack to get out, start gaining experience and knowing what works for you and what doesn't.